All right, a mom degrades her 10-year-old son on Facebook and is forced to go to court. Time to find out what she's blogging. Real voices from the parenting world who are blogging about stories you're just not going to hear anyplace else. On Skype today, Jessica Kim, co-founder of Babico.com, and also Army Wife 101, Kristen Spell. All right, well, let's talk about this New York mom, guys. She goes by Melody M, calls her son an a-hole on Facebook. He's only 10 years old. And she doesn't get away with it, by the way. She is charged with cyberbullying. So the judge brings her into court, says, "Why'd you do it?" Mother of the Year says, "Because he is one." Unbelievable. Jessica, Crystal.
Unbelievable. This is appalling. I mean, I think this is straight up verbal abuse. And if you're going to do that to your child, you lose all rights on Facebook. And as a parent, I believe, straight up abuse. It's appalling.
Crystal, I think it's pretty interesting. She got called into court. I couldn't find out who ratted her out and how, this all unfolded. But it's interesting that she was charged with cyberbullying.
Yeah, on one hand, I feel, kids, we know they have to deal with cyberbullying and embarrassment a lot of times on social media from, their own peers and from your parent. Naturally, that's horrible. On the other hand, I do feel, we are parents and sometimes we go through things. I don't condone verbally, speaking to your child that way. But I feel like if she really felt that way, she could have went and maybe talked to someone who would understand that, the place that she's coming from. Going to court over it, I'm not quite sure. But then again, we might assume that she talks to her kid that way at home.
Well, the court, in the court barred her, by the way, from posting any communications to or about her son on Facebook. Sleepovers, kids do it all the time. I know, Crystal, you blogged about this. You say, "No way, never, not my kids." Jessica, do you take the same route?
I do. I grew up with a psychiatrist dad, so I admit that he was more paranoid than most. And I was not allowed to do sleepovers at all. I was that odd kid. But I loved how we compromised. So he was just like, hang out, stay up, watch that late night movie. At some point, you guys are going to fall asleep. And even if it's 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I will pick you up. And so I thought that was a good compromise, and I'm going to do the same with my kids.
And Crystal, what's wrong? If you know the parents, you've checked it out, you feel comfortable with the household, why not?
I think it's just because I'm afraid of, you can always know the parent, but, in my crazy mind, I'm like, well, what about that uncle or that older brother that may be there that I might not know about? What about the family member that maybe they haven't told anybody stays there? And then I think of smaller things, like everybody is too happy these days. And so just to avoid those kind of situations where I have to worry about because my kid accidentally elbowed your kid by accident or bumped their head, I don't want to be sued. I don't want a parent, having conflict with any parent. And I'm afraid of, some of the more tragic things that tend to go on. And this is just kind of an open door, in my opinion, to that. I didn't go to my first sleepover until I was 17, and I had to fight literally to get to do that. So.